Oh, good. Oh, good. I wasn't sure that that was in this. Lenore is the author of a great book. It's called Free Range Kids, Giving Our Children the Freedom We Had Without Going Nuts with Worry. And she's a founder of the Free Range Kids movement. She's also a nationally syndicated columnist, a blogger, and a prolific tweeter, which I can attest to. And in 2008, she wrote, and this was in the Daily News, the Daily Sun, okay, it's sort of changing, it's actually, okay, in the New York Sun, she wrote a column about letting her 9-year-old son take the New York City subway home alone, and caused a media explosion and was dubbed America's worst mom in the ensuing media firestorm. And so here she is, America's worst mom, yeah!
Yes. Oh, wait. This is exactly what I wasn't supposed to do. Wait. It's being turned on. Ha. Does that work? Ah, yes. So, yes, if you Google America's Worst Mom, you will, is this like echoing? Or is this Seeing too much of everything. It's this materialistic culture. It's true. If you Google America's Worst Mom, you will find me there, 11 million times. Finally followed, page 17 by America's Worst Mother's Day Gifts, which is coming up, you should know. McDonald's gift card, lingerie, and especially, and this goes true for me too, a DVD collection of the Three Stooges. Okay? Don't do it. That's America's Worst Mother's Day gift. But whether or not I am America's worst mom, I am a mom. And moms, are always talking to each other. And I just want to tell you about this story my friend Melissa told me. We were chatting a couple years back, and she was saying to me, "Can you believe she did that?" I'm like, "Wait a minute, Melissa, what are we talking about again?" It's like, Melissa had been at Costco. She was there with her 2 children, 5 and 2. And she had, the usual mound of goldfish and paper towels and pallets full of tuna, whatever. And the lady behind her tapped her on the shoulder and said, "Listen, would you mind watching my kid for a second? Her baby was in the cart, the little chubby legs sticking out. I forgot to get some, probably another pallet." So Melissa said, "Sure." And then that's when she turned to me and said, "Can you believe she did that?" I'm like, what? I was like, "Lenore, I could have taken her baby, and she would never have seen him again." I'm like, yeah, if you were a murdering, baby-snatching, killer, John Wayne Gacy type, I suppose that's it. But let's just think for a second. First of all, Melissa, you would have had to have been a murderer who was like going by the sort of slow method of finding a child. Someone to drop one in your lap in a public place with your kids on it. Okay, so say it happened. Hallelujah. You never really got the hang of it. You weren't really good at your job, but it happened. So the Peter principle. So the lady leaves this baby, and while she's going, behind the stacks of cat food, you have to now tell your kids to wait here a sec. Mommy's getting some of the baby. So then you take out the baby, and you know how hard it is to get their legs out of the thing. So you grab that baby, and then you have to take your 2-year-old, who you wouldn't want to let go, and then the 5-year-old, and so now you're going to start going, and your 5-year-old's going like, "Wait a minute, you said we were getting goldfish. You promised. You said we were getting goldfish." And it's going, "Why are we taking that lady's baby? I'm the baby. You're taking her baby." Like, shut up, get rid of it. You're going past everything. You're leaving your groceries. You're leaving your place in line at Costco. You're willing to do that for any reason? Never. So you're passing down your cash to the cashier, and then you get to the line to get out. And there's the lady who checks your receipt to make sure that you aren't taking anything that isn't yours. And like, "Oh, we do have this lady baby!" Now you're kind of tense and your heart is pounding and it's your first felony. And you're trying to remember, where did you park? Where did you park? Beep, 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 beep. You find the car. You struggle to get it open. You have this extra kid. It's been a long time since you have a baby now. She's 2. So then you have to put the 5-year-old, oh, she knows how to get into her booster seat. But what about the 2-year-old? You have to strap her in. And then you still have the baby and you don't have a car seat. And you're not, that's against the law. You're not the baby without a car seat. So you get the free-range kids book is, who is crazy? The people who trust each other a tiny bit, who think that their children can be out of their sight for a minute or two, and maybe the worst case scenario is not going to come crashing down on their heads, or the people who say that that is too irresponsible and that woman was bad, because most of the women that Melissa talked to agreed with her that that mother was a very irresponsible mom, and I would never do that because who knows what could happen. So I wrote a column about this that I thought was going to set the world on fire, as I think with every column I write. And you know what? I got 3 emails just saying, someday somebody's going to call you America's worst mom. No, something like that. And the one from this ancient admirer I have on Staten Island who always would send puns, and it's like, you're not crazy, you're Skenazy, or something like that. Just very, very minimal impact in the grand scheme of things. But then, a couple of years later, indeed, as Susan was telling you, I let my 9-year-old take the subway by himself, and I didn't do this as like a clever experiment or where's that book contract already? I did it because he had been asking me and my husband, could he please take the subway alone? He wanted to be a little bit grown up, and we live in New York City, and we are on the subways all the time. So, it made sense. It's like if you're in the suburbs and kids want to ride a bike or something, completely foreign to those of us in the middle of Manhattan. So, so my husband and I talked about it. We thought, well, he speaks the language, he can read a map, we're on the subways all the time, we see what it's like, it's crowded, it's safe, it's fine. So finally one day we decided, okay, today's the day, and I took my son and we went to Bloomingdale's and I left him in the handbag department. Mostly because I thought it would be funny, because it sounds like a sort of Eloise type thing. Oh, I left him in the handbag. Oh, my son, I forgot. A Birkin bag. But really, I left him in the handbag department because that's right near the exit, and if you go out the door and down into the subway, you will find yourself surrounded by, mink coats and Jimmy Choos. I mean, just a very, very safe, well-populated subway station. And in fact, he went down into the subway without me because I said goodbye and I went the other way. And he got on the wrong side. And when he asked someone a question, oh my God, he talked to a stranger. The stranger said, yay! Melissa might not get you, but I have mine too. The guy said, you're on the wrong side, you gotta go up and over. And my son crossed the street like Moses in the Red Sea, and got to the other side, took the subway down all of 3 or 4 stops. Way easier, I might add, than taking your subway that turns into a trolley. Oh my God! It's like the St. Paul's where I'd get off wasn't even on the map. Okay, so he had a much easier time than me here. And it wasn't pouring like it was yesterday. And then he got off the subway and he took the bus across town on 34th Street. That's the miracle. And ended up at home, safe, sound, and happy. And that was it. He was just really proud. And I, a columnist, a newspaper columnist, didn't write about it because it didn't strike me as that big a deal. But finally, like a month later, when I had absolutely nothing to write, and interestingly, a woman editor had just taken over the op-ed page of the New York Sun where I was, having been fired from the Daily News, let me just say this quickly because nobody would be interested in what you have to write. Anyway, and who thinks you're funny? Okay, so I'm at the New York Sun, I write this column, fine, and that night, the phone rings, and it's the Howard Stern show. So I talked to the guy for a little while, and he said, well, Howard's kind of interested. I was like, oh, great. Howard ended up totally not interested, but I thought, that's kind of cool anyway. At the time, I thought he was. So I hang up the phone rings again. It's the Today Show. And I'm like, this is so weird. Howard Stern and the Today Show are interested in the same story. I felt like Tiger Woods. It was just so strange that this would ring some bells. So the Today Show wondered if I would come on, and I said yes. And then they called back and would I let them film Izzy on the subway? Sure. Would I do this with them, that with them? It became this whole big hullabaloo. But let me just say, the column came out on Tuesday. By Thursday, I was on the Today Show, MSNBC, Fox News, and NPR, defending myself as not America's worst mom.